Welcome to the dawn of a lost era, where ancient forests hide secrets and legends walk the earth under a golden morning sun. Deep within the heart of this primordial wilderness, a silent lake waits, masking the presence of a predator that rules the shadows. Beneath the murky depths, a massive weight stirs, moving with a terrifying grace that only a true master of the hunt can possess. Each scale is a shield of biological armor, shimmering like cold metal as the giant Titanoboa prepares to emerge from its watery throne. Suddenly, the surface breaks, revealing a face of pure primal terror, eyes burning with the hunger of 1,000 years of evolution. The air tastes of fear as the serpent scents its surroundings, its cold intelligence calculating the next move in this dangerous game of survival. Measuring over 15 meters long, this prehistoric titan moves onto land, a living nightmare that dwarfs everything in its path through the mud. The shadows swallow the beast as it vanishes into the brush, leaving only a trail of flattened earth and a chilling silence behind. An unsuspecting juvenile dinosaur pauses at the water's edge, unaware that every ripple in the pond could signal the end of its life. Survival in this world requires constant vigilance, but some predators are so well hidden that even the sharpest instincts cannot save the prey. Death approaches in silence, a massive shape sliding through the undergrowth with the stealth of a ghost, closing the distance for the kill. In a flash of pure violence, the Titanoboa strikes, its massive jaws lunging forward with a speed that defies its enormous and heavy size. Sharp teeth find their mark, anchoring the victim as the true power of the world's largest snake begins to take its deadly hold. Massive coils wrap around the struggling prey, squeezing with the force of 1,000 tons, snuffing out life with terrifying and brutal efficiency. The earth itself seems to groan as trees snap like dry twigs under the pressure of this ultimate constrictor, the nightmare of the swamp. High above the chaos, on the edge of a great waterfall, the true ruler of this island watches over his kingdom with ancient eyes. A heavy footfall shakes the mountain, signaling the arrival of a being whose strength is legendary among all creatures of the prehistoric world. Grip like iron and muscle like stone, the protector of the order prepares to make his presence known to the intruder below. Out of the fog steps the king, a titan of fur and fury, standing as a living mountain against the backdrop of the wild. Majestic and untouchable, King Kong serves his domain, his very silhouette striking fear into the hearts of any who dare defy him. With a thunderous roar that shakes the heavens, the king claims his throne, his voice a warning that echoes for miles through the valley. His gaze fixes upon the swamp, sensing the imbalance brought by the giant serpent, and the king prepares to descend for a confrontation. Leaping into the abyss, the king falls like a comet, a force of nature descending to meet a challenge that threatens his island's peace. The ground shatters upon his landing, a massive shockwave of mud and rock, announcing that the protector has arrived to settle the score. The Titanoboa rises, its head reaching high into the air, meeting the gaze of the king with a hiss that chills the very bone. Two titans of different worlds circle one another, a dance of death between the master of the land and the king of the water. The serpent strikes like a whip, but Kong moves with surprising agility, narrowly avoiding the bone-crushing force of the snake's initial desperate attack. A deadly spray of venom cuts through the air, missing the king by inches as he prepares to strike back with overwhelming primal power. Baring his teeth in a savage display of dominance, Kong prepares to engage in a struggle where only raw strength can determine the winner. With a burst of speed, Kong seizes the serpent's thick body, his massive hands digging deep into the cold scales of his ancient enemy. But the snake is fast, its tail whipping around to bind the king's arm, seeking to trap the strength of the giant ape in its coils. The jungle is leveled as the fight escalates, a path of destruction marking where these two legends clash in a battle for supreme dominance. The coils reach for the king's throat, seeking to choke the life out of the ruler, while the head prepares for a final lethal bite. Air becomes a luxury as the pressure mounts, Kong's face twisting in a mask of agony and determination under the serpent's crushing weight. Claws tear at the metallic skin, fighting for every inch of space as the king refuses to let his kingdom fall to this slithering shadow. Summoning every ounce of his prehistoric strength, the king pulls at the living rope, his muscles screaming under the sheer intensity of the fight. With a surge of power, Kong heaves the beast, slamming its massive weight against the stone, the sound of the impact echoing like a hammer. The mountain crumbles under the violence of the struggle, dust and stone raining down on the combatants as the climax of the battle nears. Though wounded, the serpent strikes out once more, a desperate move from a predator that knows its reign is finally coming to an end. The king delivers a finishing blow, a thunderous punch that carries the weight of his entire lineage, crashing directly into the serpent's skull. Time slows as the impact ripples through the beast, the power of the king finally breaking the spirit and the body of the intruder. The sun begins to set on this day of blood and fury, painting the sky in the colors of the fire that burned between them. Defeated and broken, the ancient killer retreats into the depths, vanishing once more into the shadows from which it first emerged in the morning. Standing amidst the ruins of the forest, the king remains, wounded but unbowed, the ultimate symbol of strength and the protector of the island. One final roar echoes through the twilight, a reminder to all that while nature is cruel, there will always be a king to rule.